This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, turmoil erupting with the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers Union as the leadership of the organization is being challenged on many issues. The union that represents the line staff at the Grand Lucine Resort is being accused of neglecting its members and the alleged wrongful dismissal of some executives.
We are demanding that she steps down today and call election effective immediately because this is unacceptable.
Members of the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers gathered at the office in the Kipling building but were denied access. They claim employees were inside and the doors were locked, denying them their right to enter. First Vice President of the Hotel Union, Kareem Hollingsworth, says that they are fed up with the leadership of Michelle Dorsett and are in search of many answers.
5 weeks after the storm, the president was yet to step on the property at work where people trust and respect the leadership. There was a general meeting, and at that general meeting there were 3 questions that stood out that was not answered, only to be answered in the general public, which was not true. And the 3 questions were, why wasn't there any hurricane relief to members who pay $10 in the union? The next question was, when will members receive relief in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew? That was not answered. Another question was, what is the financial status of the union? That was not answered.
He says only a selective few were chosen to receive hurricane relief items, and this was done without the knowledge of the executive board. He says once they started questioning the president, he, along with the treasurer and acting general secretary, were given letters relieving them of their duties. But Hollingsworth contends that this was done illegally.
In a malicious attack to dismantle the character of the first vice president, the treasurer, and the general secretary, there has been letters handed to us relieving us of our duties that the membership put us in place. And that is illegal, and that content will not be honored because the membership does not honor it.
ZNS News received copies of the letters of dismissal, and one charged that Treasurer Kevin McIntosh was officially relieved due to abusing the union funds. This charge has been adamantly denied by the dismissed officers. Hollingsworth says the greatest concern to the executive board as well as the members is what really happened to the union funds, as their names have been removed from the bank account.
The names has been removed before the claims to relieve us from our duties. And it was all an attempt to block the information from the executive board. Now there are some. What information is that? The information is the status of the finances of the union.
So you're concerned that money is...
I'm concerned that our union, the Commonwealth Union, is broke. It's broke. And it shouldn't be. And we're demanding that the president effective immediately steps down and call election.
Well, President Michelle Dorsett is issuing a response to the claims. She says access is made available for all members on a daily basis and admits the fact that access was denied today. If it was denied today, that was inexcusable and will be looked into because at no time access should be denied. On the matter of only a select few receiving hurricane relief items, she says the union, with its limited resources, did not purchase any hurricane relief items, but rather those members who came in and detailed their losses and damage were directed to a number of relevant agencies for assistance. According to the statement, the dismissed executive board members, by virtue of the Constitution, were removed from the board by the Executive Council. She commended them for their contribution, but says she is most disappointed that this is the path that they have chosen to take and that they are giving misleading information to the public. Now, she says her team remains transparent and accountable, and as constituted, the financial reports will continue to be presented in a timely manner. She notes that any suggestion of lack of transparency or misappropriation is a desperate attempt to mislead members for personal and selfish agendas due to a pending election. Switching gears now, teachers in the public school system are reporting to school this week for teacher work days. National Report Card Day is slated for Monday, January 9th, and all public school students on Grand Bahama are expected to report to school next Monday. Tonight, the leader of the Bahamas Union of Teachers on Grand Bahama is sharing his aspirations for the new school term. Italia Hall reports.
Every year, thousands of students graduate from the various institutions on Grand Bahama, and this year will be no different. Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers Grand Bahama Division, Quintin Larota, says this is one of his biggest concerns as the job market is already saturated, and the question is, where will these new graduates work?
We need to do some things to make some things happen for ourselves, but I would really appreciate some major investment here, particularly in the tourism area, because of the potential to employ so many people. And we have so many people in Grand Bahama with experience in tourism area. We have some even like top restaurants and maitre d's and so forth that haven't been in work in 10 years.
He says he believes if the economy remains stagnant, then private school numbers will decline.
And those kids have to come into the public school. And then you have a situation with overcrowding in the public school, trying to facilitate accommodating all of those students, and so it creates, there's a trickle-down effect of a stagnant economy on the education system that may not be obvious at first, but if you look into it, you'll see that a burden is heavily placed on the government educational system.
The area vice president says his number one hope for 2017 is for all students to do well in the upcoming national examinations.
I appreciate the good working relationship with upper management and the upper echelon in the union, and I wanted to continue and get stronger. The relationship between most of the shop stewards and the principals here are very good, and the staff and administrations are very good. There are issues from time to time, but there's a framework in place to have the issues resolved.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Talia. Now, once again, National Report Card Day is slated for Monday, January 9th, and all public school students on Grand Bahama are expected to report to school next Wednesday. In other news, mounds of debris accumulating throughout the Southern District becoming a major concern for one community leader. The local pastor is appealing to someone to look into their plight and render assistance.
The Southern District was one of those communities that felt the brunt of Hurricane Matthew back in October. Now, some 3 months later, Apostle Mike Francis says a full cleanup has yet to be done on the property where his church sits. A heaping pile of debris can be seen in the Hunters community on the side of the Just Shall Live by Faith Ministries. Francis says it is a combination of debris from the church as well as a few small apartments that sat on the property.
As it relates to the different trash and debris that's still in the community, that's really affecting the worship setting and the community at large. And we really need some assistance with this and really getting it cleaned up. And not just me being affected, not just our church being affected, but the children in the area. You can't even put up the swings or nothing to do nothing because you'll get stick with nails or whatever. So we really need some assistance.
Francis says he has reached out to private contractors but has been giving exorbitant prices. He adds that since the hurricane, no trash has been moved from the property.
I've spoken to the counselors, I've spoken to the different people, I've seen the news as it relates to the donations from Borco and making sure the areas are cleaned up, but the different things that's coming our way is ridiculous as it relates to pricing and people charging you $250 a load, and to carry it to the dump is another fee again. I don't know how you expect a church to survive with all of these different fees as it relates to debris that really, it ain't their fault.
There is also another issue that residents are concerned about.
The lights are still not up. The community is dark. It's really scary at night to even come through here. So the reality is you don't want to bring them and subject them. Not saying that the community is violent or there's something, but the reality is there's nothing like lights in an evening time at night for ladies to feel comfortable, even for men to feel comfortable.
Resident Agnes Davis admits that cleanups were done throughout the community, but she says more needs to be done, and soon.
We appreciate them sending people around and taking up the garbage, but there's still a lot of work in the area. The area is filthy. The road part is filthy. No one has come to, take the bags that fly and the garbage on the side of the road. No one is concerned taking that up. They're taking up the heaps of garbage. But then as you go and you clean out your house, there's a lot of things that you have to be throwing out. You have to be dumping. And, during the holiday, they had couple of dump truck came up, which we appreciated. They came up and they clean up, like, the big heaps of garbage. But there's still a lot of things in the area.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Royal Bank responding to the claims made by the Families for Justice organization on Grand Bahama. Group leader Reverend Glenroy Bethel is condemning the bank for implementing a charge for non-clients who must cash an RBC check. While RBC in a statement notes that they recently announced a revision to some of the fees and service prices, and this change was communicated in the media and in the various branches. The $10 fee took effect November 2nd for each transaction completed by non-RBC account holders in the branches. Now, this fee, they say, is aligned with the operating costs of providing the service and is in line with the pricing of similar services in the market. Royal Bank says that they are striving to become a digitally enabled relationship bank that focuses on serving clients today and in the future, and that they regularly review products and services to assist clients and the communities where they operate. Now, the bank also encourages all clients who may have questions about their business to contact the bank directly. So there's more news right after this.